Welcome to Map Your Mind. Travel through the world with your brain. North America is a place where Ice Age hunters, ancient city builders, colonial empires, revolutionaries, and modern innovators all left their footprints on the same vast stage. It is a continent where cultures evolved independently for thousands of years, only to collide and reshape one another in ways that still influence the world today. From frozen tundra to tropical jungles, North America's story is the story of movement, adaptation, and reinvention. North America stretches from the Arctic Circle down to the warm shores of Central America, forming one of the most geographically diverse continents on Earth. The land is shaped by towering mountain ranges like the Rockies and the Sierra Madre, endless plains that once supported millions of bison, and coastlines where ancient trade routes thrived long before written history. This is a place where climate extremes shaped how people lived, what they built, and how societies formed. Before modern borders, this continent was a tapestry of thousands of cultures speaking hundreds of languages, each tied to specific landscapes and traditions. The story of North America begins with migration, survival, creativity, and the continuous reshaping of identity. Humans first arrived in North America over 15,000 years ago, likely crossing from Siberia into Alaska using land bridges and coastal routes that are now underwater. These early groups adapted to glaciers, mammoths, shifting climates, and rugged landscapes by developing tools, hunting methods, and deep knowledge of the environment. As the ice receded, people moved south and east, settling across forests, deserts, grasslands, and coastlines. Over thousands of years, diverse cultures emerged, each shaped by local geographies and resources. Along the Pacific Northwest, communities relied on salmon-rich rivers and built complex societies around trade and artistry. In the Arctic, the ancestors of the Inuit mastered survival in extreme cold through innovative technologies like kayaks, snow goggles, and specialized hunting tools. On the Great Plains, early bison hunting cultures developed strategies that later influenced the mounted horse cultures that would arise centuries later. In the eastern woodlands, groups crafted pottery, farmed early crops, and built trade networks that stretched across entire regions. Across Mexico and parts of Central America, early farming communities domesticated maize, which became a transformative crop that reshaped the entire continent's future. Centuries passed, and North America became home to impressive cities, kingdoms, and civilizations. In present-day Mexico, the Olmec emerged as one of the earliest complex societies, leaving behind giant stone heads and influencing later cultures. The Maya developed advanced writing systems, astronomy, and architecture, building thriving cities throughout the Yucatan and beyond. In central Mexico, Teotihuacan rose as a massive urban center with grand pyramids, influencing trade and culture far across the region. Later, the Aztec Empire unified city-states under a powerful alliance, creating a sophisticated society built on tribute, trade, engineering, and religious traditions. North of Mexico, the Mississippian culture built immense earthen mounds and cities like Cahokia, which once rivaled medieval European populations. Farther west, the ancestral Pueblones constructed cliff dwellings and complex irrigation systems in the desert landscapes of the Southwest. Across the continent, political alliances, trade routes, and cultural traditions grew increasingly interconnected. These societies thrived despite environmental changes, migrations, and shifting regional power. Their achievements marked one of the most vibrant eras in North American history and set the stage for dramatic transformations to come. The arrival of Europeans in the late 1400s and early 1500s marked a profound turning point in North American history. Spanish expeditions entered Mexico and the Caribbean first, establishing colonies and ultimately conquering the Aztec Empire in 1521. Disease introduced unintentionally by Europeans swept across the continent and led to immense population loss among indigenous communities. Soon, British, French, Dutch, and other European powers established settlements, trade posts, and strategic territories throughout the continent. The French built vast networks of fur trade across Canada and the Great Lakes, while the British established colonies along the eastern seaboard. Indigenous nations navigated these new relationships through alliances, resistance, diplomacy, and adaptation as European competition intensified. Conflicts erupted as colonists expanded westward, reshaping land use, political boundaries, and cultural identities. The 18th century brought large-scale transformations, including the American Revolution, which led to the formation of the United States. Mexico and Central American regions fought their own battles for independence from Spain in the early 19th century, creating new nations with emerging identities. Canada gradually gained autonomy from Britain through a peaceful political process that shaped modern Canadian Confederation. Throughout this era, Indigenous nations faced displacement, forced assimilation, and loss of land, yet continued to preserve traditions, languages, and cultural resilience that remain vital today. By the mid-19th century, North America's political map began to resemble the one we recognize today. The United States expanded westward, Mexico forged a new national identity amid challenges and reforms, and Canada slowly built a unified federation. Industrialization swept across the continent, bringing railroads, new technologies, and rapid urban growth. Immigration from around the world reshaped cities, economies, and cultural landscapes from Montreal to Mexico City to New York. The 20th century brought global conflicts that North American nations played major roles in, strengthening their international influence. Civil rights movements transformed social structures, challenging long-standing injustices and expanding democratic participation. Indigenous revitalization movements grew stronger, helping restore languages, cultural knowledge, and political representation. Today, North America is a diverse mosaic of cultures, economies, and landscapes. Mexico blends ancient traditions with modern energy in its cities and cultural life. Canada stands out for its multicultural identity and vast natural environments. The United States continues to influence global culture, technology, and politics, while grappling with its own complex history. Across the continent, the past remains visible in architecture, languages, foods, and customs that trace back thousands of years. North America is home to the oldest confirmed human footprints in the Americas, discovered in New Mexico and dated to more than 20,000 years old, pushing back previous timelines of human settlement. North America's story is one of movement, reinvention, and constant adaptation. From ancient footprints to modern cities, every era has left marks that still shape daily life across the continent. Understanding its layered history reminds us how cultures rise, interact, endure, and transform through time. Where will your mind travel next?